How far would you go to stay young forever? Would you smear your face with gold leaf? Drink a potion of liquid gold and ether? What if it promised not just beauty, but healing too, curing everything from warts to arthritis? In this episode, we dig into the glittering, deadly allure of gold, a substance once believed to hold the power to heal the body and preserve youth, but that left more than a few corpses in its gilded wake. Welcome back to Beauty Unlocked. I'm Carissa, and today we're digging into a beauty ingredient that's as dazzling as it is deadly, if ingested. Yes, we're talking about gold. It's been hailed as an anti aging miracle, smeared across faces and facials, powdered into potions, and in some very unfortunate cases, even ingested. But gold's glittering reputation hides a dark and sometimes fatal history. So, is gold the ultimate beauty wonder, or just a glamorous poison? Buckle up, because this story is as rich and complex as the metal itself. Let's start with a cautionary tale, that of Marcus Licinius Crassus. You might remember him from Roman history as one of the wealthiest men in the ancient world. But his thirst for power ended, quite literally, in fire and gold. As legend has it, Crassus met a gruesome fate. Molten gold poured down his throat. Now, whether that actually happened or not, it certainly makes a point. Execution by gold wasn't just the stuff of fiction. It happened in ancient Rome and later, during the Spanish conquest of the Americas. A cruel, ironic punishment for those considered too greedy. But gold wasn't only used as a deadly symbol of avarice. For thousands of years, it's also been celebrated for its supposed healing and beautifying powers. Let's rewind to ancient Egypt, where none other than Cleopatra is said to have slept wearing a gold leaf face mask. Now, a lot of what we know about Cleopatra is steeped in myth and also written by men, but I digress. But the Egyptians did use many natural products that still show up in skincare today. Think milk and honey for exfoliation and antibacterial soothing, coconut oil for hair, and aloe vera for inflammation. If she really did sleep in gold, she was part of a long tradition of skin alchemy. As far back as 2 millennia BCE, gold was being used in China to treat various skin conditions and even played a role in surgical procedures. According to one Ben Kao, a type of materia medica, or traditional pharmacological text, gold powder was considered effective for treating boils, while another recommended it for skin ulcers. Meanwhile, in Ayurvedic medicine, gold has been a staple for centuries in addressing ailments like diabetes and rheumatoid arthritis, typically in the form of swarna basma. I'm so sorry if I didn't pronounce that well. A preparation made from gold ash or powder. In ancient Rome, gold wasn't just used for physical healing, but also to address spiritual concerns. In his Natural History, the Roman natural philosopher Pliny the Elder wrote that gold could be used to treat warts and also to render any malpractices of sorcery comparatively innocuous. According to Pliny, gold is the only substance in nature that suffers no loss from the action of fire and passes unscathed through conflagrations and the flames of the funeral pile. So naturally, using it on your skin would lend you a bit of that immortality, right? That belief didn't die out with the ancients. In fact, it evolved into something known as chrysotherapy, the use of gold compounds in modern medicine. Today, these treatments are still used for things like rheumatoid arthritis, psoriatic arthritis, psoriasis, and even hives. Here's the science. Gold compounds can inhibit certain enzymes that contribute to these conditions. And those antioxidant properties, they're exactly why gold is still prized in skincare. Antioxidants help fight off those nasty free radicals, the unstable molecules that cause skin aging and cell damage. Gold is also naturally antibacterial and anti-inflammatory. Sounds magical, right? But here's the catch. Ingesting gold compounds, not so safe. This is where I'm going to introduce any new listeners to Diane de Poitiers. Like I mentioned before, we have a whole episode dedicated to Diane, so go check it out. Diane was a 16th century French courtier and the famously elegant mistress of King Henri II. Despite being 19 years older than the king, she was his obsession. He even died in a joust while wearing her colors, not those of his wife, Catherine de Medici. Now, Diane wasn't just relying on charm and confidence, she drank gold. Literally. Like many nobles of her time, de Poitiers consumed a concoction of gold chloride mixed with diethyl ether every single day. It was a kind of elixir meant to preserve youth and beauty, and it worked, at least on the surface. A 16th century courtier and writer known as Brantôme reported meeting an older de Poitiers and described her as fresh and as pleasant as she had been at 30. But the real cost? It was hidden inside Diane's body. Archaeologists exhumed Diane's remains. Her bones had been tossed into a mass grave during the French Revolution, a fate shared by many symbols of the monarchy. But when scientists tested her hair, they found alarming levels of gold, a clear sign of chronic gold intoxication, a form of heavy metal poisoning. This would have affected her kidneys and liver, probably leading to her death at the age of 66. So much for the elixir of youth. The creation of drinkable gold was deeply tied to the pursuit of eternal youth and lasting beauty. In the introduction to a tract published posthumously in 1654, alchemist and herbalist Nicholas Culpeper described it as an universal fortification for all complexions and ages against all sorts and degrees of pestilential and contagious infections, both preventing before their possession and extirpating of them after it. There was no single formula for this so-called aurum potabile. Numerous variations circulated over the centuries. One notable example comes from 1526, when Philip Ulstad, a German doctor with a keen interest in distillation, published Colum Philosopharum. In it, he documented 21 different recipes for drinkable gold, some incorporating Greek wine or even precious gems. Today's beauty treatments have thankfully evolved and gotten much safer. The gold you find in modern skincare, it's not molten, and it's not mixed with wine and precious stones. Instead, it's colloidal gold, or gold nanoparticles. These teeny tiny particles are small enough to penetrate the skin and deliver anti-aging and anti-inflammatory benefits. That said, gold still isn't for everyone. About 1 in 10 people are allergic to it, so patch testing is a must if you're trying gold-infused products for the first time. So what's the verdict? Is gold a beauty wonder or a deadly poison? The answer is, it depends. Used wisely, topically, and with modern science in mind, gold can be a brilliant beauty booster. But history reminds us, sometimes even the most beautiful things can kill. That's it for today's episode. Thanks for tuning into Beauty Unlocked. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to leave a review as this helps the podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on TikTok. I'll leave the links in the show notes. Until next time, my love buckets, stay curious, stay hydrated, and be safe. Bye.
Make it clap, 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 clap. Make it clap, 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 clap. Make it clap, clap, clap. Make it clap, clap, clap. Make it clap, clap, clap.